very important meeting took place in the Vatican. The name of the meeting was Complementarity of Man and Woman. Basically, this was a conference on marriage and the family. Many religious leaders from the Protestant world were invited to attend this important meeting. Among the notables was Rick Warren, who arguably is the leading voice in the evangelical world. Some have even stated that he is the successor of Billy Graham. He's written two extremely successful books, The Purpose-Driven Church and The Purpose-Driven Life. Immediately after the meeting, he was interviewed. And in that interview, he referred to the Pope as the Holy Father and as our Pope, speaking about evangelical Christians. And then he went on to say, we have far more in common than what divides us. And then he went on to state that Christians have many things in common. And I quote, they would all say, we believe in the Trinity, we believe in the Bible, we believe in the resurrection, we believe in salvation through Jesus Christ. These are the big issues. Are these really the big issues? Martin Luther, who has been credited for beginning the Protestant Reformation in 1517, actually believed that the important thing was sola scriptura. Martin Luther has been identified as related with righteousness by faith, but really he discovered righteousness by faith because of his respect and his discovery of Scripture. The main doctrine that Luther discovered and preached was sola scriptura. The question is, can Protestants accept the theological issues that are brought up by the Roman Catholic Church? Can Protestants agree that the death of Jesus on the cross was not a once-for-all sacrifice, but that Jesus is sacrificed over and over again in the sacrifice of the Mass? Are Protestants willing to believe in purgatory and that the sacrifice of Christ did not exhaust the penalty for sin? Can Protestants believe that it is acceptable to bow before idols? Can Protestants accept the primacy of the Pope? Can Protestants believe that Mary is the Mother of God, that she was conceived without original sin, that she never sinned herself, that she is presently in heaven, mediating all graces in favor of sinners? Can Protestants believe in the canonization of saints? These are not insignificant doctrinal disagreements, which we will settle when we get to heaven. They are profound doctrinal issues that really are significant and important in our Christian walk with the Lord. Are Protestants willing to accept that the Bible is not the only rule of faith and practice, but that we must follow the Bible and tradition according to what is taught by the Roman Catholic Church? Are Protestants willing to accept the idea of indulgences? For example, attending World Youth Day, as were offered by Pope John Paul II. Are we willing to say that we'll just disagree about all of these issues and just cast them aside and just come to agreement on the common points of doctrine? The fact is that over 100 years ago, a very significant book was written called The Great Controversy. The writer of this book foresaw the day when Christians would attempt to come together based on common points of doctrine and casting aside the issues that divided them. I'd like to read these two statements from the classic book, The Great Controversy. The first statement is from Great Controversy 444, and the second is from Great Controversy 445. I read, "The wide diversity of belief in the Protestant churches is regarded by many as decisive proof that no effort to secure a forced uniformity can ever be made. But there has been for years, in churches of the Protestant faith, a strong and growing sentiment in favor of a union based upon common points of doctrine." To secure such a union, the discussion of subjects upon which all were not agreed, however important they may be from a Bible standpoint, must necessarily be waived. Remember that this was written over 100 years ago, when Protestants did not want anything to do with uniting with Roman Catholicism. The second statement is Great Controversy 445. When the leading churches of the United States, uniting upon such points of doctrine as are held by them in common, shall influence the state to enforce their decrees and to sustain their institutions, then Protestant America will have formed an image of the Roman hierarchy, and the infliction of civil penalties upon dissenters will inevitably result. And so this writer, over 100 years ago, foresaw what is happening in the Protestant world today. Protestants need to return to sola scriptura, Scripture alone. There are not important doctrines and less important doctrines. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. This is Stephen Bohr, President of Secrets Unsealed, reporting from Fresno, California.